Hello everybody, my name is Aaron Collins and this is another rendition of me addressing worldly issues in a godly way. Throughout our history in this country, as black people, we've been conditioned to believe that everything about being white is positive and everything about being black is negative. Where I'm going with this is that the very increased in fluctuation of young black men, young black people especially, being born in a generation, and really it's not just happening, it's been going on, but we're dealing with a generation of young blacks wanting the preference for lighter skin and darker skin. Now, I noticed this happening, it's mostly in the hip-hop culture, but even with everyday people, you got black men, especially some black women, but I'm focusing on black men because of this system we currently live in of racism and white supremacy being perpetuated, and also with Willie Lynchism, that lighter skin has always been preferential. And it also comes with the fact that during slavery, white women have always been paraded around as the standard of beauty, have always been known as the epitome of what femininity is all about. And I noticed this always happening, particularly with young men in terms of, say, the rap music industry. A rapper named Kodak Black recently made a statement that he prefers light-skinned black women over dark-skinned black women. Now, Kodak Black is not old enough to have been around during Willie Lynch or Jim Crow, but he still exhibits the symptoms of ingrained racism and self-hatred. It's Willie Lynch, ironically as it is, it was actually designed to be self-perpetuating for years to come, for decades to come even. So it's really no coincidence that Kodak Black has even made that statement. And not just Kodak Black, but so many other black men have made the statement. Especially in the southern rap industry, where you hear such lyrics, such verses and lyrics saying that I prefer a yellow bone or a red hammer, and these are just other terms for light-skinned black women. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying to turn against light-skinned black women. That's not what I'm saying, because I love black women, period, whether they're light or dark skin. But I'm just trying to get everyone focused and let them know that there's a system, there's a pattern of self-hatred here that was taught to us during the inception of slavery and still continues to be perpetuated today in this current system of white supremacy that we live in. Kodak Black also gave a pedestal to Danielle Bregoli in one of his videos. For those of you who don't know who Danielle Bregoli is, she's the Cash Me Outside girl who's appropriated black culture as her own, but so it's looked at as some kind of goddess. So. But anyway, some of the things I want to point out about self-hatred is that the desire to not be around those who look like you, the desire to shun the community to which you have come from, as well as the people. One such a test that was conducted in the 1940s, is a very good test conducted by the Clarks, Dr. Kenneth Clark and his wife Mamie. They conducted what's called the doll test. The doll test, what they did was they were trying to find the symptoms and study the inherent self-hatred and racism that affects young black children. They were trying to see the effects of how the effects of segregation and prejudice affected these children. So what they did, they took 4 dolls of different ethnicities and put black children inside a room with these dolls. They pointed the dolls out, and you can look up this test. You can Google this test and check it out, read the article, and also look at it on YouTube. Some very deep stuff. But anyway, they asked the children which dolls were the best, and they also did this test in the Italian also. Okay, let me stay on focus. Sorry about that. But anyway, they did this test, and they asked the children questions like which doll was good, which doll was pretty, which doll was bad, which doll was ugly. Everything that they attributed to the white doll has always been positive or good comments. Everything that they attributed to the black doll has always been considered to be negative. And it's all because of this perpetuated, continuing to be recycled system of self-hatred and racism. The system of racism has been incited so much that in the 70s we came up with these slogans called "the blacker the berry, the sweeter the juice." And that's just to say that the blacker a person is, well, the greater the lovemaking, the greater the compassion. There's also some more negative saying that if you're light, you're all right. If you're brown, stick around. And if you're black, get back. See, these are all sayings. These are all ingrained and very disturbing behaviors that were taken up by our people as a form of self-hating, i.e. the Willie Lynch letter. One of the things that William Lynch said is that we must take little minor differences and enumerate them with each other. Like take the light-skinned slave, pit them against the dark-skinned slave. Because a lot of the light-skinned slaves are used as bed wenches and house slaves, whereas the darker slaves were used as the field slaves. So this is really no surprise there. But I noticed though this going on a lot is that we must learn to love one another again. We have to get back to self-love as black people. No, black self-love does not mean white hate. Some may take it to mean that because a lot of these white supremacists are into their feelings and they cry their little racist white supremacist tears. But how is it that other races and cultures can love themselves and there's no problem with it, but when black people even have like one inkling of self-love, then it's a problem. It's a problem. Even recently, I'll give an example. This is a good example. When P. Diddy, he was on some platform and he gave a shout out honoring black women, which a lot of people had a problem with, saying that he needs to include everyone else. See, it's this attitude of inclusion that white supremacists have when no one's talking about them. Anytime when you don't include them in something, they get upset. But yet they've been practicing exclusion with us for decades. And they still do to this very day. But yet, anytime when it comes to black people showing some self-love, showing some desire to be with their own, it's always been taken and perceived as something evil, as something bad. As a people, we need to combat these types of behaviors. We need to go back to the love of self. There's nothing that says you can't love others, but we must learn to love ourselves as well. We must learn to love ourselves just as much as we love them. We have to learn to love ourselves and love our communities, and that, yes, includes black men, includes our women. We have to love our women. And I've said this in so many other videos, that we must love and protect our women with our lives. Now, I'm sure I'm going to be called a simp for saying this, but I don't really care. because I'm speaking truth. And when you get beta males who don't want to hear the truth, they act out. You get people, it's more acceptable to be on YouTube as black men talking about fight videos and making silly little videos about hair and makeup and calling people niggly bears and BT1000s. That's okay. But when it comes to uplifting of the black race and uplifting black women, then it becomes a problem. Then you get accused of inciting hate speech simply because showing love of self. But let this be known, I am a strong advocate for black self-love. Didn't say racism, but black self-love. So I just wanted to get that out there, and I wanted to talk about this very disturbing trend of dark skin versus light skin. You know, all of these behaviors were perpetuated in slavery. I just laid it out there, laid the groundwork. If you don't believe me, Google it. Google the Willie Lynch letter. Google the doll test. Study these things. Read up on them. And see how these cycles are still being perpetuated today. You see what I'm talking about. And even listen to some of the rap music that's out today, where they have a preference for light skin over dark skin. Once again, everyone, I'm not turning everyone against light-skinned black women or light-skinned black men for that matter. That's not what I'm doing. Because black people everywhere, no matter what hue or shade of skin, we're catching hell on all fronts. But I just want it to be known, we must practice self-love. Now, think about what I'm saying. And of course, get in the comments. Like, comment, subscribe, and share this video. And click the bell icon so you can be notified when I upload other videos. Okay, so with that said and done, I just want everyone to know that God loves you. I love you. So let's just do life.